Oh, hello, you're here. This is the Abundance Oracle, as you know. Um, um, they were just here when I sat down. I really wasn't eating them. You know, sometimes abundance comes in different forms of goodies. Like when you're all alone on a Sunday, nobody's bothering you, nobody's needing you except your chickens in the back that keep on balking away for some reason. And then when you go to the back, they won't let you pick them up and put them away. So, anyway, here we are today, the Abundance Oracle. Thanks for joining me. And no, not my goodies. They're not mine. They're not mine. But thanks for joining me for some conversation, calorie-free conversation. Um, yes, Angie, you just don't tell on me. I know you're over there telling everybody what the truth is. Sometimes a little white lie never hurt anyone. Remember that. Okay, so these are my notes for today. My notes are about your children, whether they're little, medium, adults, or older people. How can you help your kids? Because you know, a parent really, most of their life is supposed to be there for their kids. And I'm sure your parents were there for your kids. hmm My my kids are there for me whenever I have things like this, or good little snacks, or um, maybe a new little piece of jewelry that just so happens to be missing when they leave. I never could figure that out. Why does that happen? Here's some ideas that I have for you for the little ones. We'll start with the little ones. Start your little ones out with a piggy bank and have them put part of their savings, whatever their savings is. Now, if their Grammy gave them a check, then I suggest, even though you're going to have a bank account for them, that you take part of that money and you allow them some change or some dollar bills to go into their piggy bank so that you can take and eventually promise them when the piggy bank gets full, we're going to go uh, take 10% and allow you to buy something for yourself besides your college degree savings money. That is so important because you're such a smart kid. You're going to want to go to college, whether that's learning how to be an electrician, learning how to be a plumber, learning how to own a landscaping business, or learn how to work for somebody like a white collar worker where you do a lot of sitting at a desk and paperwork, or maybe you can be a marathon runner or a professional. Well, you don't want to be a professional cheerleader, honey, because they don't make much money. You want to you want to have something that you make quite a bit of money on and that's fun for you. No reason why you can't have both in your life, right? Okay. How about also teaching them about silver coins? They can collect coins. Now they're probably, I think, to buy a silver 1 ounce coin, it's probably about $52. So as they get a little bit older now, we graduate from the piggy bank to the silver coin collection. Now, I think there's certain binders that you can use if you're going to collect maybe each year. Their Grammy or Grandpa gives them an eagle, a silver eagle. Maybe you can work on that because maybe the other gifts they make could be undistinguishable. Like Aunt Jenny used to make things for us that we never knew what they were. She either took something and painted on it, took a box and somehow had a flap open and you didn't really know what to do with the box. Or once she even made a belt, maybe, or was it a thin scarf? We didn't quite know what that was. So the silver coins might save you to get something valuable for your kids from the relatives that aren't very, they're so loving because they want to give presents, very, very loving, but they might not be especially good at picking out something that will be long lasting. Or maybe they'll give you something short lasting, like, oh, wonderful seeds they saved for their garden that she can't remember quite which plant it was, but I'm sure if you just plant it and you nurture it along, you'll discover what it was that she saved for you. Christmases at our house was very interesting. Okay, so the other thing now, we'll step up a little bit. They're a little bit older. One thing you can do for them that could be a present, sort of, is you can open a U, the letter U, Promise credit card, and that takes a certain amount of things that you buy, certain, whether it's 5 cents, 10 cents, especially grocery store things, or if you go out to dinner, sometimes that you get a couple of dollars for, and it goes into a little separate account for your You Promise card, and you say who that little extra account's going to go for. And I picked a 50-50 split between each kid. And it was later on when there was a little bit more than, $5 or $10, and it started to grow, they allow you to put it in a college savings plan. And it's all set up for you. You just have them designate what the beneficiaries are going to be, 50-50, or maybe somebody doesn't want to go to college, they want to go to start their own business or something more entrepreneurial, so they didn't need that money for college. But 2 kids, without me putting any extra money up, because you got to remember, when the kids were little, I was really broke. I was raising them myself. My ex-husband was not well. So $5,000 over time became usable by just 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. Sometimes if you buy like a pie from the grocery store, you got a little extra bigness. If you start out really early and let's say you buy baby food, sometimes you get big amounts by the time you add up. So I would just like to offer that idea. You can give them a card every year at Christmas time and say, I put, whether you made $100 each or they made, $200 each on their You Promise card that you put away, and it's towards their college, and it's without you having to spend any actual money, but them planted in their brain that they're going to be able to go to college, and that you're saving for them, that's very important for you to have, that they have a plan to be able to access college, if by then we still want them to go to college, because it seems as though a lot of kids got sort of crazy in college. However, you send them to a conservative college. Okay, now they get a little older and they're finally off on their own. Then, if you started the silver collection back when, each year, and now poor Grammy or Grandpa has passed away, you can give them a silver coin or 2 and tell them, really these coins are never going to be sold unless there's some massive emergency. But these coins are yours. And do you know what? Passing down coins doesn't get recorded. So it's a way to pass down generational wealth to your kids without them having to go to court. What's it called, when you pass away? Some people have it where they have to go to court and you pay taxes, estate taxes, but there's a name for that. Okay, so maybe by then they're making good money, they're working, and then you can have them graduate to become a stacker, a silver coin stacker, and they get little plastic tubes. And you start to put them in. By then, Grammy and Grandpa and friends and everyone could have been giving them 1 coin each or 2 coins each, and they could have a nice stack, it's called. And it's a plastic tube in containers until you put them all in a big monster box and it gets sealed. Anyway, that's just an idea. It's not an expensive present. But over the years, it's something that can be a birthday present, a Christmas present, congratulations for your graduation from elementary school, middle school, high school. You won the award for your team last year as prize person, best soccer ball kicker or something or other. Oh, there's your present. In the beginning, they're going to think, what do I do with this? By the time you get going, they start to get excited. Okay, the other thing you can do is each year you're allowed to give your kids a certain amount of money. And if you're, I'm going to say, well off, I think this year you can give them roughly $18,000 each per kid to get it out of your estate and into an account that you would set up for them so that you can direct it. If you need to, you get a trustee or not. Maybe the Aunt Susie would oversee it to hold on to it, and she's really smart with her money, so maybe she would be able to help your kids out with a little direction and everything like that. But it starts to plant the seed at a very young age in your kids about generational wealth. Instead of just them spending their money, they can start to think ahead so that when they become a mom or a grandpa or grandma, they can consider passing their wealth down, just like your Grammy and Grandpa are trying to pass their wealth down in the things they buy and give to you. So you can start to have that conversation of generational wealth. Where do you put it? How do you get that money? What is a good idea to spend the money on? Or how do you preserve it and let it grow at the same time without taking it out of an account? Okay, it's just an idea, generational wealth, the small little things about how to and conversations to have. I know Laurel Langmeyer has a book that I've read on how to make your kids a millionaire. And it's a fabulous book. I didn't read it. I listened to it in Audible on my trip when I was doing a lot of driving for a couple of years when Miss Katie, I didn't want to put Miss Katie in the plane, so we drove everywhere so she could get out and do her business. And, now that I'm getting old, so I can get out and do my business. Anyway, it's an idea for your kids. And it's one more thing you can talk to them about that will prepare them for their future and your future grandchildren as well. It's our job as we get older to help have those conversations that parents are too busy to have and that are too busy trying to build their lives up and their families' lives. So if you're grandma or grandpa, you can start having those conversations, and it doesn't matter how big the the piggy bank is. If you have to start with pennies, start with pennies. I'll tell you one other idea. I'm sorry, it's long. That I started when my kids were babies is I saved their containers, the baby food containers, and they're like I'm trying to think. It's like a soup container, basically, and it has a lid on it. So they were dry food. They're milk containers, and you add water to it and you make it. So I saved those, and I saved the white bee dipes. They were plastic sort of boxes, and you open it up and you pull one white bee dipe at a time. I don't think they do that now. I don't think you get the nice box. I think you just get a plastic bag sort of that it comes in. But that's what I had. I collected all those, and I started at the end of my day, every day. I took whatever was in my pocket, pennies, quarters, dimes, nickels, dollar bills. Occasionally there was a $10 bill if we weren't broke, or $20 bill, and I put those in the little white bee dipe box. And that was my savings for their college as well. And then I wrote them a note. You're now 2 years old. This is what you're going through. I'm so excited you took your first steps. And you look so cute. We got your first little haircut. I saved it for you. We're going to put it in a frame so you'll have your first haircut. And here's a picture. I always take and laminate a picture and put it in the white bee dipe box. Here's a picture of you and me when you were little. And I was less wrinkly. So those are fun things. Every time they came home from college, I gave them a box. Sometimes the box had all pennies in it because times were tough. And then I didn't even get to laminate the pictures because it cost extra to buy lamination. And then there were some times where I had wonderful long letters. I took the time to write the letters and laminate the pictures, and the kids, we would just sit there and cry because it would be like, oh, so wonderful to hear what they used to do, and some of their Halloween parades that they were in. We took a picture. Sometimes we had to remind them of things that weren't so good, like when my youngest went to her very first day at kindergarten, and little Arthur pushed her, and her head went straight onto the corner of the desk. And the first day at school, Nurse Judy, we became good friends, called me and said, now, there's no need to worry. She's okay, but Cameron has had a big slash and she probably needs a little plastic surgery and some stitches. Can you please come here to the school? So I wrote that story up. That was a challenging story for my first day at school, and the last child going to school. But as a mom, it was challenging, and learning, okay, a plastic surgeon already. So she was very good. It healed up very well. You can't even see it. But those little stories that you forget about as time goes on and on and on, you write them down and you can put them in that white bee dipe box. And then I tape the white bee dipe box with mailing tape, and in black magic marker I write her name on it and the year. So when they come home, they could pick out a box, any box that they wanted to. And sometimes it was lots of money and very little story. And sometimes it was little bit of money, but lots of wonderful stories. So you can also put other surprises in there. I think I also put one in my oldest daughter's container. There was a boyfriend in first grade that had a really big crush on her, and the mom called and asked, I don't remember the boy's name. Can he please give her, he wants to give her a bottle of nail polish. So I said, yes, he's very nice, a very nice boy. So for Christmas, he wrapped up a bottle of nail polish, and she like did it a couple times, and then I closed up the nail polish bottle, and I put it in her. It was almost empty, and I put it in her little box and told the story about her first boyfriend in first grade, I think it was. So there's lots of fun stuff you can do that doesn't cost much money at all, but it's really wonderful to pass down and to grow your kids with some experience of family as they get older and become teenagers and think they know so much more than you do and think they're smarter and have better ideas. And you all know how that, oh, and you're wearing the wrong clothes, Mom, you look like an old lady. Well, yep, I am an old lady now. So anyway, it's just some fun ideas that you can do with your kids, and I thought I'd share that with you. Well, I was just sitting here thinking away. Did you see that? We're friends now. You didn't see it, did you? No. I love you all. Like, subscribe, and share the Abundance Oracle.